If you've been laid off due to the government shutdown, there are things you can do right now to protect your finances. To answer your quick questions about what steps to take is our consumer reporter, Susan Hogan. Susan, let's start with credit cards. Some people have large bills. Yeah. What should you do with the credit card companies if you can't make those payments?
I know, this is such a scary time for sure. So here's the thing. This is a little checklist you can do. So you should call them immediately. Don't wait until you miss a payment. So when you call them, ask them, can you waive my late fees and any penalties that I may have? Also ask to have your account placed on what's called a hardship program that would trigger waiving of those late fees as well, and temporarily reduce your minimum payments. If you can't even make them, see if they can lower them a little bit just so you can keep going. And then also ask to stop interest on any outstanding balances as well. Those are very important. Kind of take a screenshot of that because you need to ask those questions.
Another big expense is rent. And can you withhold your rent if you're furloughed? No.
You can't. And you know, and landlords are not obligated to either. Right. You still, furloughed or not, you still have you have to pay your rent. Mm-hmm. But what you can do is communicate with your landlord. Call your landlord or the property manager and ask to defer your rent for a set period of time. See if they will do that. If they won't, ask then if you can split your rent into smaller payments. So if you owe $1,100 today, which is October 1st, see if you can pay half now and half in a couple of weeks. And also, if not, ask for the late fees to be waived until you finally do receive your money back, your paycheck.
Can you help us prioritize the budget? It can be very challenging right now.
It truly is. So this is what I always say. You know, I hate to say it, but you really need to pause your discretionary spending, which means no dinners out, no brunch and all of that, which I know is really hard to say because it's, you know, it's a kind of a stressful time, right? You want a little bit of reprieve, but you have to be very serious about this and really prioritize. The other thing is, if you have an emergency fund, now is the time that you can actually dip into it and be okay with that. And then the other thing is called, this is a little wordy, access to alternate liquidity. Basically what this means, and I want to show you this, this is important. So this means with a lot of credit unions and some banks, they actually, when there are these types of government shutdowns, they sometimes have what's called paycheck advances for furlough or furlough relief loans. So I had to look at my notes because that's important. So you need to ask if your credit union or a bank that you do banking with have these types of loans. They're low interest and they can help you kind of get over this little hump right now.
Such important tips right now. Susan, thanks so much.
Of course.
And if you have a quick question for Susan, you can ask her at NBCWashington.com/quick question Susan, or follow her on Instagram at Susan Hogan TV. Thanks again.
Of course.